Tonight, breaking news in the case that horrified and captivated the nation. A pregnant mom accused of having a mental health breakdown, hearing demons, and trying to murder her 3 children. She drove them right into the Atlantic Ocean. Well, that mom has now given birth to her precious newborn inside of a jail's mental health facility. Just hours ago, Ebony Wilkinson appeared in court telling the judge, and I quote, that I'm not crazy. She isn't crazy. She feels like herself again. But should we believe her now? A pleasant good evening to you. I'm Joey Jackson, filling in for my good friend, Jane Velez-Mitchell.
When a mom took her vehicle and accelerated towards the water, she put her family and herself in danger.
I need a wellness check.
You think there's demons in the house?
Yeah.
The 2 in the back seat was crying with their arms out saying, "Our mommy's trying to kill us, please help."
3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. You also charged with 3 counts of child abuse.
Are they saying help?
Wow. Ebony Wilkinson is charged with 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 3 counts of third-degree felony child abuse. And just hours ago, we finally heard Ebony speak in court. Listen to this.
I feel like I'm back to my normal self, and I'm feeling like my old self, like old Ebony. Yes.
So the judge decided to reduce Ebony's bond from a whopping $1.2 million to only $90,000. But does this bond fit the actual crime? Remember, her children were ages 3, 9, and 10, and they told police that as mom drove toward those waves, she locked the car doors, rolled up those windows, and she said, "You know what? Close your eyes and go to sleep." Rescuers say that Wilkerson, she then tried to fight them off as they struggled to save her and her children from drowning.
A kid on her lap fighting her for the steering wheel. And the 2 in the back seat was crying with their arms out saying, "Our mommy's trying to kill us, please help."
So should the judge have reduced the bond? I want to hear from you tonight. Call me at 1-877-JVM-SAYS. That's 1-877-586-7297. Of course, we have a fabulous Lions Den panel. They're standing by and they're ready to debate. But before we get to them, I want to first go to Mark Starling. Mark, you're a reporter and anchor for News 96.5. I know you've been covering this from day one. There was a big proceeding in court today, Mark. Take us through and give us the very latest.
Well, essentially, Judge Leah Case lowered the bond for Ebony Wilkerson today, from the $1.2 million to $90,000. That's $25,000 for each of the second-degree murder charges and $5,000 for each of the third-degree felony child abuse charges. Wilkerson has to report to pretrial release services. She won't be allowed to leave Volusia County, and she won't be allowed to have any contact with her children. Now, that's not something that I think will come to a shock for anybody. She's also going to have to attend therapy with a psychiatrist as well as take medication. She will be tested weekly for that. Wilkerson is being treated with the prescription drug called Haldol. Now, what we still don't know is if Ebony Wilkerson can actually pay that bond. It's going to be roughly $9,000 for her to make that bond of the $90,000. And as far as the children are concerned, they remain in DCF custody as far as the kids that were involved in the actual incident. Now, this newborn that was born in the mental institution just a couple of weeks ago, that child is actually with the father and the estranged husband, Lutfel Ranjan. He has been taking care of that child, yet he does not have any rights to see the other children at this point. Now, there is this all took place, the beginning incident took place, March 4th. And again, as you heard in the clip, Wilkerson saying she felt like her old self again. Well, I think it might be her old self that kind of got her into this mess.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mark. Can I just ask you, Mark? Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Sure. No, I was just going to say, as far as what happens from here, what was her mental stability prior to this? Because, like I said, if it was her old self, then what in the world, where do we stand now? Her old self tried to drive her children into the beach and kill them.
Mark, to your point, her old self was not too mentally stable. But let me ask you this, Mark, because we know the bail went from $1.2 to $90,000. Did the judge give any indication at all what accounted for such a drastic reduction in that bond?
You know, I think what it was more than anything, and now let's look at it this way also. Even with this $90,000 bond, it's 10% in order to get out, so that's $9,000. She has not even $2 to her name. The husband, Lutfil Ranjan, says he has $2,100 that he could contribute to it. So I think it was just, I hate to say it, but it really just seems like they kind of did it to make things a little more fair for her, or to give her a better chance at being able to get out. But honestly, I just don't see, we just don't see how it's going to happen at this point. Again, she has no money.
You never can tell what family will jump in and what they'll do in an effort to perhaps, bring her back to her good mental health. But, Mark, thank you so much for your report. I know you've been following this from day one, and you're going to continue to follow it for us as we move forward.